All right, I am so glad you're here because we are going back through the depths of Steam. I'm looking at all the games that got at least 1,000 reviews on Steam since the beginning of the year. So January through March, that's quarter one. That's what I'm calling it. We're going to look at what games are succeeding. And this is really inspiring. I do this because it is possible to make games on Steam succeed. And I think one of the biggest problems on Steam and the reason indies don't survive is they're making the wrong type of game. There are games that just do not sell. And so I'm just working the maze backwards. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to look at the games that did succeed. Now, you shouldn't see me because I'm hiding. Last video, part one, I know the audio was quiet. I turned up the audio. I'm literally shouting right into a very expensive microphone that I purchased. And I had this cloud box booster thing that I bought for like $100 just to make me loud. Okay? So I'm trying my best to make it loud. I don't know why they don't just have a loud button. Just make everything loud. I don't understand why I have to spend all this money on this stuff just to make it loud. Just be good. Be better. YouTube sucks. Anyway, so here we go. The first game is Sworn. Let's take a look at this. You got a sad-looking king, an anime trailer that doesn't show gameplay. That means this is probably made by Team 17. Yeah, an expensive thing. Looks like hack and slash roguelike. Let's see, co-op game, action roguelike. Explore the resource of phone handle on. Now, I know this says roguelike. I'm going with just pure roguelike on this one. Even though I have a category called action roguelike, I use that to mean Vampire Survivors like. So we got that. All right, it's just a classic Hades-like type of game. Illustrated, but dark fantasy. I'm going to call this one fantasy because you have a dude with a sword right there. Look at that. So let's go back over here. Sworn. Roguelike. Rogue. Again, not action roguelike. I reserve action roguelike for the types of games that are Vampire Survivors like. Let's just see if they still have their demo up. Nope, it's just straight up. Know that. Yes, I consider roguelikes crafty building because you're like building a player over turns, possibly, and usually there's some points that you allocate. All right, Border Pioneer. See, folks, look at this game. This is what keeps the dream alive for me, is that a game that looks like this can do well on Steam. Let's see how many. It's almost got 1,000 reviews. Now, this is because this game was more non-English. When I use Steam VG Insights to crawl the data, to pull that data, they're counting all reviews. These are 900 English reviews, and there's a bunch of other languages. But look at this. Top-down, crafty building. What kind of tower defense? A lot of people ask me if tower defense is still a thing. It is, but look at how many players there are. See how many characters are attacking this village, and you're building a city and a tower defense. That's basically what tower defense has become. It's become a city builder plus defense. It's those two smashed together. I see this all the time. There's so many games like this. Pixel art up the wazoo. Look at those big chunky character profiles. So if you're not great at art, I'm not saying this game's bad art, but it just means it doesn't have to be 3D. It could be pixel art. Typically, pixel art games do survive if they are crafty, building a city, top-down type of thing. So this is the type of game that just makes you say, yeah. And you have to have it really deep. So let's see if it's co-op. Yogscast made it. I don't see any co-op things. Let's look down here. These are the games, folks. I have not heard of this game. These are the types of games that just quietly get the job done, make a lot of money, and nobody talks about it, and everybody's trying to make a platformer when these nice city builder tower defense games are doing very well. It looks like it's single player. I'm telling you, folks, this is why I still track this data. So, Border Pioneer, no co-op. Demo live, nope. Crafty, definitely. And Border Pioneer, it is a tower defense. I call it tower defense because I could see it, and it's pixel art. I could see you say, oh, well, it's really a city builder, but they put tower defense right up front, and it's more about defending, and you've got the teams of people coming to you. But really, these are the types of games that are doing well if you're doing tower defense. You've got to do it. All right, next one is Digging a Hole. This one's taken the world by storm. We all know it. It's crafty, buildy. You're crafting and building this hole by upgrading your gear and stuff. It's kind of like... This one's hard because it's kind of incremental and it's kind of mining. I like how they use that term sandbox because it is just like you're just digging down. I don't have a straight up genre for this. I'm going to call it sandbox. It is kind of a, I think I do have a sandbox tag that sandbox genre that I've done. Sandbox. Yeah, I have a sandbox thing. Literally a sandbox because you were digging through sand. Get it? But most of the time, sandbox I use to refer to anything where it's just this kind of open world, kind of you could just place elements however you like. And art style, I'm going to go low poly. I know it's kind of technically realistic sim. Let's take a look at some of these screenshots. I just see some roundedness to it. And there's kind of the soft, no texture look to it. I'm going to call, and it's got voxels. I'm going to call it low poly. Don't yell at me. But just looking at like the shed, I'm going to say low poly. In this game, folks, if you want to understand Steam, play this game. This is crafty, buildy. You just dig a hole and you buy upgrades and you go back to the hole and you can do it in any way you want. And it's just, this is Steam, folks. These are the types of games you should play. I think it's like $5. It's on sale. I'm adding it to my cart. I'm not going to show anymore so I don't get my credit card swiped or something, but I'm going to add it. Okay, it's on my cart. I'm going to buy it after this thing. This is a very important genre you need to understand. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of digging a hole clones coming. And I think it's a good thing. There's lots of innovation space, I think, in digging a hole. I think it's going to be a hot genre that you can do. So I think I've got everything. Okay, we're going to go urban myth. Urban myth, you got a guy just pointing at you. Join forces with a psychotic. Oh, look at these creatures. It's narrative, but is it horror? This is the big question. Is it more narrative or is it more horror? Look at that. Ugh. And it is kind of an anime, grimdark. I'm going to go with anime in the art style, but is it pixel art? See, this one is... I think anime is doing the heavy lifting here because here's the deal, folks. Anime is very hit or miss. People say, is anime a thing? Yes, for a certain audience, especially visual novel. And see, visual novels right up front. So I'm going to say it is anime style because people got the big eyes and their hair is weird. Classic anime stuff. Look at that. It looks like she's got like croissants on her head. Totally anime. It's like she's got croissants and then this hair that she spent all this time making this croissant on her head and she can't even brush those two little strands of hair. Comb your hair, put those hanging strands inside your croissants. That tells me it's anime. And it's visual novel. So, and here's the other thing. If you're making visual novel, horror's the way to go. Visual novel horror games. I think I did a stat and I looked at all the visuals. I do this every year. I looked at all the visual novels that succeeded. There were like half of them, more than half, were horror or some sort of monster creepiness. The other half were like detectives. So you just got to do it. It's just, it is just there. No co-op on. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do these. Yes. Okay. Urban myth is, I call them narrative because that loops in a lot of different type of narrative focused games. I'm going with anime because she's got some croissants on her head, but she just couldn't manage to sweep those little old dangly hairs in there. Okay, co-op, no. Demo live, no. Crafty, no. Narrative games are very straight up. Okay, Legacy of Steel. A lot of steel and metal. We had Steel Tail, Steel That, Legacy, Steel and Sorcery. You always got to do and sorcery, like at the end, like a little spice at the end. And sorcery. 2,341 English reviews. Action focused PvE extraction RPG. This is hot now, this extraction stuff. It's extraction. I actually loop extraction into shooter. My shooter genre, I should have a separate extraction because it is there. Online co-op. I'm going to call this... I'm actually, you know what, folks? I think I might call this multiplayer shooter. I know it's knights hitting each other with swords. I'm going to go with multiplayer shooter because it's PvE. Let's just see it. Is it paid up front? Yes. Let me look at a couple of reviews just to see. Yeah, it's see how they're talking about balance in it because it's a competitive game. Don't buy the games at an early stage because right now there's only 4 classes. People complaining about... See, this is the problem with multiplayer games, folks. You're never able to satisfy the audience. They always want more and more and more and more. Yeah, it's talking about that. It's a multiplayer game. So I'm going to call it multiplayer shooter. Even though there's a lot of sword play, multiplayer shooter is the genre I use for this. And it is definitely fantasy. No question about it, fantasy. Co-op, yes. Demo live, no. Crafty, yes, because you're like crafting this character. Although, no. Technically, crafty buildy. I don't call multiplayer games crafty buildy. They're their own thing. It's multiplayer, linear games, and crafty buildy. So just keeping it there. Okay, Tiny Pasture. I think this is a idle desktop thing where you keep people at the bottom of the desktop. Super hot genre. So many of these. We've already seen 2. Idle games are so hot. I'd say it's like the number 1 genre for people who are small devs. You don't got a lot going. These games are so hot. Usually they're free. Is this one free? No, it's actually for paid. That's great. We got 2,000, almost 3,000 English reviews. These games are so popular. When did this game come out? February. It came out, what is that? February, March? Like a month and a half ago, and it's already at almost 3,000 English reviews. Here's the thing, folks. You don't grind to 1,000. It happens so fast. So this is an idle game. Pixel art. Co-op, no, because co-op idle game, who knows? Demo live, do they have that? Let's see here. Let me just keep checking here. Let me keep checking. Demo, because this would be a good game for a demo. I think you could get away with a demo for the type of game. Like you only had one creature, and then it was like, oh, don't forget to play the real thing. And it is definitely crafty. I consider idle crafty because you're picking your resources. So idle games, folks, it is worth it to try for a small team just making their first game. I think idle games. I think I've already counted 3 idle games, and we're only at 30. So like 10% of games this year that succeeded, idle games. But what I was saying with the way games hit, it's a month and a half and it's at 3,000. The way the Steam algorithm works is they look real fast and they see, are you succeeding? And if you are, they just grab you and they pull you to the front of Steam. That is how Steam works. You don't grind to 1,000. I did some analysis last year. 75% of the games that hit 1,000 reviews did so within the first 3 months. It happens very fast, folks. And if you just didn't do it, if you're like stuck at like 30, 50, 100 reviews, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. If it's going to happen, it happens super fast, okay? Lost Records, this one's easy. Choices Matter. That is dead giveaway narrative game. And it is, I call it illustrated because, yes, see how the people don't quite look like mannequins? There's like an art direction for it. It's not like realistic sim because they kind of have this, look at that. See that shot, the cinematic shot? That's why I don't call it realistic sim. There's an illustrative aspect to it, even though it looks like realistic things. Like you could almost pull those off the asset store, but they've just got an art direction to them. So I'm going to call it narrative. And it is, what did I call it? Illustrated. Oh, I already had illustrated. Co-op? No. Do they something cool where it's actually secretly a co-op narrative? Just sometimes there's stuff. Okay. No, but nope. All right, let's do Last Remains. Last Remains, looking pretty horror. Let's see what it is. Last Remains, highly challenging multiplayer zombie survival. Oh, never mind. Well, I mean, it's creepy, but there's a surviving city overrun by the dead, scavenge loot. It looks like kind of extraction shooter, MOBA, PvP, online co-op. Yeah, this is looking. Yeah, this is like multiplayer shooter, I think. I'm just gonna double check, go down, look at this. Look, these 2 games launched to the same day, February 17th, launched the same day. It's not, you don't get crowded out on Steam. It's like different genres. Like the narrative game that we just looked at did not compete with this game, which is like walking around a city and shooting zombies. It's just like Steam is very big and there's a lot of stuff that works. Survival extraction game with a twist. I don't know what the twist is, but it's extraction shooter. I'm going to call it multiplayer shooter. I'm pretty sure it's multiplayer shooter. I'm trying to figure out if it's only local co-op or if it's, see, everybody's talking about this extraction shooter. Server is dead. Anytime you see servers is dead, multiplayer. Because if it's co-op, that means they can always bring your friends. And so I'm going to say it's co-op. So this, see how many downvotes? This is what typically happens. And I usually check it on these games at the end of the year. This did well, but then the servers die out. And then the game's unplayable because there's nobody to play with. That's what it is. Online now, 14. See? It's dead. Something's weird about this game. Something's weird. I'm going to quickly flip over to SteamDB. See all these bad reviews because there's nobody on the server. Look at that. 16 players right now. It used to have 750. See, this game succeeded for a while as a multiplayer game. It made it. It broke through. But even when they break through, eventually it'll die. Multiplayer games, folks, if you're making a multiplayer game or you're thinking about it, please, please, please look at this. Look at this. They succeed and then they fail and then everybody yells at you. And it just, oh God, multiplayer games are so hard. You just, even if you succeed, you eventually fail. It just, ugh. And this game came out a month and a half ago. So anyway, we're going to say multiplayer shooter. That was not local to land. Multiplayer shooter. Multiplayer shooter. I call this grimdark because everything looks like it was shot through a beer bottle, but a gray beer bottle. I don't know if do they sell gray beer bottles? I don't know. Okay, co-op, yes. Demo live, no. Crafty, yes. No. Remember, multiplayer shooters is not, even though you can upgrade your character and stuff. Okay, tribe, 9. The number 9, all bold. I don't know what it is. People like that number. Like, there was like 9 tails, I think it was. Tale of Nines or whatever. Tribe 9. Maybe it's the 9th one in the series. Let's see. Defy the madness. Defy the madness right there. I love that. Just defy it. Defy the madness. Come on, everybody. Let's just defy the madness. Stop all the madness. Action RPG. What do they mean by action RPG? Does that mean... Yeah, it just means like a dude with a sword game. Pixel art. Pixel art. But pixel art, but then it turns 3D. So, Chris, what is it? I'm going to go with 3D art. Anime. It doesn't matter if it's pixel art. It's anime. Come on, look. She's got blue hair. She can't even comb her hair. It's all over the place. I don't know. Is there no combs in the anime world? Do people not know how to comb their hair? Look at that. What's going on? Comb your hair. Comb your hair. Why don't people comb their hair? Look at this guy. Look at this. It looks like he's got a squid on his head. Comb your hair, Mr. Anime. Ugh, God. Whenever I see anime guys like this, I'm just like, somebody's going to yell at me on Discord. Like, every time there's somebody we have to ban, they have an anime profile. I'm not saying that all anime profile pictures are jerks, but everybody we ban always has an anime profile picture. I don't know what it is. Folks, if you have an anime profile picture that looks like this guy or something on Discord, just know that every moderator that sees you, we get nervous because we're like, oh God, do I have to ban this guy? He's probably going to act up and say some jerk thing. Okay, so just know that effect you have. Not saying you have to change it, but I wouldn't be so stressed all the time if everybody just stopped having anime profile pictures. I have nothing against anime. Don't at me. But it's just everybody who's a jerk on Discord, all the jerks, there's like a 90% chance they have an anime profile pictures. I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. But anyway, where am I going with this? What even game was I looking at? Oh, it's I'm just going to call it. I'm going to call it an RPG. Just because, it's anime. I know it's action RPG, but it's anime. All right, co-op. Is it co-op? Let's see. Is it a single player? I think it's single player. Yep, single player. Yeah, no. No demo. Crafting. What do I call it? I call it RPGs, basically narrative for the most part. Okay, Garten of Ban. I know this guy. I know the Ban folks. He actually used to be a moderator for a while on the Discord of howtomarketagame.com. Actually, speaking of that, I just want to remind you, if you're having fun here, don't. Because YouTube sucks. If you are thinking that you're having fun watching this stream, don't. Here's the thing that really brings fun. Books. Books, kids, are more fun than anything, okay? What I want you to do is go to howtomarketagame.com/free. Can you see this? I'm going to drop this just a little bit right here. You see that? howtomarketagame.com/free. That's the URL. You go there. Don't subscribe to my YouTube channel. YouTube sucks. They're probably going to crash and burn sometime, and then I'm like, oh, my followers are gone. No, you won't. Not if you subscribe to this. Just type your email address in there, and then put @Gmail. Don't do that because it won't actually register you. Do a real email address. That's all it takes. And then you've really subscribed, and then you get a free book because reading is cool, kids. All right, so that's what you got to do. I run that site because I'm trying to study how games and what type of games actually do well on Steam. And we're going through all the games on Steam. Uh-oh, I think that one might be pornography. I don't know. I filtered out the porn games. I'm just I'm not sure. I just don't want to be banned. Your mother. Your mother. I don't know, but I'm giving it a 50-50 chance that that's pornography. I'm not going to do it on stream. I will be classifying it. I do classify the porn games. But there's nothing wrong with porn games. I just don't want to be demonetized or whatever this is on YouTube. I don't care too much about the YouTube algorithm. It's just I might get banned. I worked so hard on this. I don't want to even be banned up for that. Okay. So let's just keep doing Suikoden. I'm gonna cross this one out because that's a existing game. That's not an indie game. Sometimes non-indie games get classified as that. Wizardry, that's probably something else. I bet that's another anime game. Suikoden is like it's been around since like the PlayStation. I think I never played it. I've never really played those type of games. I'm only looking at indie games that are new that don't have an IP intellectual property associated with them. And the reason Suikoden did well, got over 1,000 reviews, is because it's been around since the PlayStation days. It's been around. Okay, Garten of Banban. I know this. I know these guys. It's horror. It's a horror game, folks. You gotta get horror games. Like the type of games that can do well on Steam. Most of them are horror games. I consider this low poly just because look at that tree. I know it's like kindergarten toys and stuff, but we are going to call it horror low poly co-op. Is it co-op? Let's see. I think it's single player. Yeah, single player. The Garten of Banban it's an inspiring story. Two brothers. I know the guy. They just worked really hard. Now, some people kind of like, oh, it looks atrocious. It is not like they just kept at it and they eventually found their niche and they're doing very well. All right, Die in the Dungeon, pixel art. It's like a deck builder. I know it's a dice builder, but look at this. I bet they're gonna do it. Urge choices matter. Turn-based strategy. Roguelike deck builder, fourth one. I consider this roguelike deck builder, even though it's about dice. It has that same mechanic where there's chance and you have dice. I'm going to call this a roguelike deck builder. If you want to fight over it, you're correct. You're 100% correct, and I am wrong. Okay? But, yeah. See? Let's see if anybody says deck builder. Let's see it. Deck. Let's see if the word deck shows up 20 times somewhere on this page. And if we just look at this. Let's see what this is. Relative to deck building. However, the real gameplay innovation relative to deck building card roguelike is that you're now going to arrange the dice. See, it's a deck builder, but it's not actually using a deck. I'm still going to classify it as a deck builder. So deck builder, pixel art. Well, if you don't spell it 100% correct, can you do co-op on this one? I still think people are so hard on deck builders for some reason. I've got a blog post I'm working on about this. I think that they're actually still okay to make. Look at this. This game's got 2,000 concurrent players. Definitely crafty buildy. I'm just trying to see if there's any. Yep, it's just single player. I'm going to get through these, and then I'm going to cut the stream. I got to go at the basically at the top of the hour. So this is a triple no, except for the crafty buildy aspect, because I consider deck builders extremely crafty buildy. Yes. All right. Somebody was asking, why don't you put the prices in there? Here's the deal. I pull this data from VG Insights, and I'm not trying to give away their game. The data from them. I'm just a user. I'm not a distributor. So I cut out a lot of that specific data. If you want that information, sign up for VG Insights. You can get a month's worth for like $15. If you're researching your next game, $15 is worth it if you're investigating a genre. Think about it. If you spend the next 1 to 2 years, spend $15 to be on the right track for the next 2 years, totally worth spending $15. What did you spend? You probably spent $15 on like a hamburger. All right. It's worth it, at least for a month. Then you cancel it. I'm not paid by them. I'm just saying it's worth it to spend money on things, folks. And especially if it's as important as what game you're going to make. Let's go to Repo. This is definitely a horror. I could just tell because you got these monsters and the guy with a flashlight. Again, horror is very easy. Online co-op, comedy. What is this? I'm going to call it kind of grimdark because look, it's got this like VCR type look to it. You got a monster there. It's horror co-op, which is a very hot genre. Horror genre. If you want to make a horror shooter, or if you're trying to make a multiplayer co-op shooter, splash some blood on it. It'll do much better. Just splash blood, make a guy with weird eyes that's creepy. I'm going to call this Grimdark because it's got that Grimdark filter, the beer bottle filter. Co-op, yes. Demo live, I didn't see it, I don't think. They changed their logo. They used to have this capsule with this weird emoji red eye guy. They just recently changed it. I'm just looking to see if they do the demo. I was just curious. Okay, they do not. It is not crafty because it's horror. I'm going to skip those. It could be pornography. Everhood. Let's look at it. Everhood. Pixel art, obviously. With some weird 3D elements. This looks very RPG-y with some rhythm elements. Let's see what it's saying. Unconventional ARPG, action RPG. I really don't like it when you put unconventional in there. You can't praise yourself. I just don't like that short description. I don't like it when devs praise themselves. I know you should. You made a game. That's praiseworthy. But saying like, oh, here's a unique thing. It's a pet peeve. Okay. It looks like it's just an RPG, but with some of that elements. Yeah, I'm gonna just call it an RPG. Pixel art RPG. Wait, let me pull this back. Pixel art RPG. Single player, no demo. Yeah. Somebody was asking about the demo. Why I track it, or should you keep the demo after launch? I don't know. That's why I'm studying it. The main thing is, I don't consider RPGs crafty building. The main thing is I don't know if demos are good or not. I'm just trying to study it. I think devs are usually too afraid. If you've done very well, like you've gotten thousands and thousands of reviews, your game's fun. And I have a feeling if you made a good demo, maybe even change it just for post-release, one, it filters out bad reviewers because somebody will probably play the demo. If they're like, this sucks, they're not going to buy it. But if you've proven that your game is fun, like you're up to 1,000 reviews, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth keeping it up. But I don't recommend it because I haven't given the full data. I haven't seen the full data, but my gut says it is a good idea. All right, this is a clicker idle game. It's, again, one of these idle clickers that lives on your desktop. Look at how cute that is. My golly, that is cute. A triple stack of kitties. Oh, my God, that is so cute. That is so... Well, it's a red panda and 2 kitties. But look at this. Wait. Oh, here's a fail. The screenshots really should alternate the slapping. It's not necessary, but it should really, like, every time I flip between these screenshots, it should be the cat, like, alternatingly pounding on the bar there. It kind of is a slight fail that if I flip through these, I don't see the cat in order flipping its little paws. That is adorable. Cats, let me tell you, I've done the stat. I don't even count them anymore because cats are they outnumber the number of dog games. So it's idle. Just make a cat. I know everybody's like, oh, can you pet the dog? You know what? Just put a cat in there. It doesn't matter if you can pet the dog. Do you have a cat? It's illustrated because it looks kind of like this cartoon style. No, yes. Bongo Cat, so cute, so cute. Let me tell you, idle clicker. It's free to play, monetized, I think, through buying other cats and stuff. But it's good. That's good. Just really, guys, put cats in your game. All right, this looks like some multiplayer shooter stuff. 5-year hero shooter. Yep. And it's illustrated. This is a very common, this Overwatch. Like, it's like a girl that looks like this, and she's got like scraggly hair, and like she looks like she's a streamer or something. It's not a. It's just, it's just these type of games. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. But good for them. They did good. Good. Let's see how the reviews are doing. Mostly 32,000 free to play. Hit reg is on phone. Uses AI assets. See, people don't like AI assets on Steam. So Steam patrols this stuff. I don't freak out when I see AI assets because I know the fan base is gonna like yell at another UE slop fest with AI upscaling to get reliable, decent FPS. See, Steam players are so grumpy about stuff. If there's something that you're grumpy about, they're going to filter it out. So what are we going to do? There's no tag for Slopfest, but FragPunk, multiplayer shooter. I call it illustrated. Oh, I didn't do these things. No, yes on Bongo Cat, no co-op. It's no on this one. Okay, and it is not. I call it illustrated. All right, let's do this one. Wizardry variants Daphne. These anime titles. The poetry of anime. Look at this guy's hair. Wait. I've always wondered. Those are those bones. He's just got bones growing out of his head. Never mind. Comb your hair. She's like, yeah. She's like, are you kidding me? Yeah. What am I doing in here? I like how she just breaks the fourth wall looking at the camera like, what am I doing here? All right. Everybody's eating in the dungeon over a campfire. At least there's ventilation. I always see whenever they have a bonfire in a dungeon, I'm always like, oh, what about the ventilation? Hey, there's no roof on the dungeon. Couldn't they boost each other up and then just climb to the upper wall of the dungeon and then you don't have to go through all this stuff? You just walk on the top of the wall. Anyway, oh, good. I'm glad that's a skull. I thought it was something else. Okay. All right. What is this? 3D dungeon RPG. That's easy. Portal of Despair. Mixed. Co-op. Let's see. Single player. Bop. Okay. I'm going to call it anime. So pretty easy. RPG. Anime. No co-op. No demo. Yes. No. RPGs. Chris are there. Nubby Nubbers Number Factory. This is interesting. This is why I do this. What the heck is going on here? I don't have time. Look at that. He's shooting. And this is like a match 3 game. Something tells me you play this game and it turns into a horror game secretly, and it's like some deep meme joke. This guy's demo live, and it's $5. Interesting. This is why I do this, folks. Interesting. Look at this game. Study these games. This is why I do this. It's almost got 4,000 reviews. I don't know the full story about this. I got to research this. Sometimes I put stars on games just to be like, look at this. So I just do a bunch of asterisks. So it is roguelike. And I have a special category for this because look at these graphics. They're intentionally supposed to look like early 2000s graphics. I have a feeling that guy's probably got like an MFA. It's really good. So I call this one, I have a special term for this. What do I call it? Outsider. It's intentionally looking bad. I have a feeling you could tell that it's a guy who's good at art making it look like he's not good at art. You could just tell. All right, so co-op no, demo live yes. See, this is why I do this, folks. This is why I get inspired doing this stuff. Okay, let's do the next one. Zombieville 3D. Oh wait, did I say crafty building? No, this is definitely crafty building because roguelike. Okay. Zombieville 3D, stylish arcade shooter. I call these shooters. I know it's not the same as a first-person shooter. It's top-down. I call them shooters. And they've got their demo live. 2 demo lives in a while. This is interesting. Very interesting game. I'm going to call this crafty buildy because, look, you're customizing this stuff. There's probably a tech tree where I can upgrade all my weapons and stuff. I'm going to call this crafty buildy. Top-down shooter, arcade. Player customization, PvE. What's the co-op status of this? This has got to be co-op. I knew it. Online co-op. Yeah. See how there's so much customization? This is what I consider crafty buildy here. Okay. Yep. So really interesting. See, this is why I still do Steam. I still have hope for this. And I call this illustrated. It could be grimdark, but it's illustrated because they have those like chibi eyes and chibi face. Another demo live. Co-op, yes. This one got a 3 yeses here. Way to go, Zombieville, USA. All right. I am Legion, stand survivors. You got the word survivors in there. Survivor-like. The interesting thing is pixel art, and it doesn't... I had this theory that action roguelikes, they were moving up scale, and you had to really have very, very, very good graphics in order to do it. But this one, I mean, it's not that bad. I consider this pixel art, even though it's got anime girls. I don't know why. I don't know why this game did so well. It's probably some some weird thing. I'm just trying to find out, why do people like this so much? I'm just curious. Good progression. It's because of the progression and replayability, but usually games is super fun. Bullet hell. It's just like a well-made game. And here's the thing, folks. I don't know. Sometimes it's just like the game is fun. It has the magic. I can't tell you. I've seen tons of games that look just like this. Top-down, action roguelike, Vampire Survivors likes, that fail. It's just, it happens in the gameplay, in the metagame. The metagame's just fun. Look, it looks like you have multiple players. I know somebody's like probably making a pixel art game that looks just like it. And it failed. I know this is frustrating, but play it. Play this game. See what they're doing right. I have a feeling this game, I haven't played it, but I have this feeling this game is very, very, very deep. Lots of upgrades, all that stuff, and just it has a good compulsive game loop. And that is the secret, folks. It has to be that. Yes, sorry it is. And do they have the demo live? I could see this game keeping their demo live. Good merchandising. This is really good. That's what you need to do. It could be because of the publisher. Well, it seems like this is a well-known publisher. I'm actually not familiar with them. Gamer Sky Games. And they published Rogue Genesia. I know this guy. So, yes. Okay. Yeah, there's just some games are just super fun and they look just like it. Okay. I'm just about time's up. I'm going to do just a few more. But you know what? YouTube sucks. All right. You can't, if you subscribe to me on YouTube and then YouTube sells themselves or something weird happens and they turn off visibility, I would lose my connection to you. You know how I can keep that at bay? Email address. Subscribe right there. And I'm going to let's do 3 more. Let's make a round. I'm going to do a speed round 5 to see if I can get done in 10 minutes. And then here's what I want you to do, folks. You watching this, if you're coding, you should have turned this off a long time ago. You cannot code and listen. I know you think you can, but there's been studies shown that there's no such thing as multitasking. You just do both badly. You listen to me badly and you do your coding badly and you're going to just introduce bugs. I know you think you can, but studies have shown people underestimate how well they can multitask. I don't want to be second fiddle. I want to be the first fiddle. And so put me up front. I don't want to be this thing. And then after I'm done with this, I want you to close YouTube. You've watched enough. If you watched all of this, you've watched enough YouTube for the whole day, maybe even the whole week. So close the browser and go do something. Get outside, go for a walk, call your mother, finish your project, do your homework, whatever it is, do it. Watching YouTube, you've watched too much. You're done. Okay? Let's finish. Not enough work, too much. Ooh, how close are we? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we got 13. Wait, let me see. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. That way the next video, part 3, is just going to be 3. I really have to go. So I'm just going to do 3. So then the last one is 10. I'm going to do part 3. It's just going to be 10. And then I'll do a post-amble where I just amble about stuff. And guess what? This one's probably... I don't think this one... I saw this. I don't think it's English. I think it has... Okay. I'm not going to shuttle this one because it has all the languages. They just... When I pull the data off of VG Insights, it just does this stuff. Okay. Horror game, narrative. It is horror, but see how it's got a lot of this dialogue and stuff? I put this under narrative that is... narrative that is anime style, but it's also horror. Co-op, no. Demo live, no. Crafting, no. Whoops. Let's see it. Just double checking that they don't have the demo. Free to play. Did well. Here's the other thing. People are like, oh, free to play. Of course it got to 1,000. It's free to play. It's free. Of course, any game could get free if it's free, anybody can get 1,000 views. No. The way the Steam visibility works is if you have a free game, they look at your concurrent user count. And if your concurrent user count is in the pits or something, it's a mix of metrics that they use for free games. If your game is not fun and it's free, Steam will still hide it. And also, if the game has in-app purchases, I don't know if it does. they're gonna content for the game. They're gonna do DLC, but they're not monetizing, which is actually a mistake right at this point. Yes, if you do free to play, but you have in-app purchases, that counts towards your total, and so that's one way it can get promoted. But if it's pure free, it's still very hard to get a totally free game up to 1,000 reviews. I did the math. I think it's somewhere between 5 and 7% of free games make it up to 1,000 reviews. Most free games just do not get that high. So it is still very, very hard, even if the game is free, to get to 1,000 reviews. So don't just discount it because it's free. That's why it got to 1,000 reviews. Nope. It's actually, I think, harder to get to 1,000 reviews with free. Okay. That cheetah, I don't know. There's a very high likelihood that is also porn. So I'll do one more. That's not my neighbor. This is my last one. Okay. This is just trying to see. It's horrors way down here. I'm gonna call this narrative. This one's hard. I don't have a separate category for it. It's a very Paper Please like. I kind of saw this game earlier. It's a horror. So I'm going to do grimdark art style. Whoops. Even though it's illustrated, it really is grimdark. And I'm going to go with narrative. I know it is. But it's a narrative, but it's also kind of crafty buildy. This is a rough one. There's not a real subgenre for this that I have set up, which is... There's no subgenre that's like a Papers, Please. No, I don't do crafty building on this one because you don't really upgrade anything. But it's very deep. These are very deep. I'm just trying to see if there is a demo live. Okay. This guy's got his face melting off. All right, that's it. It's time to turn off YouTube. Put your shoes on. We're at Grandma's house. We'll cover up this in part 3. I'll finish it and I'll do a wrap up of my thoughts. Note, I still have not seen a platformer, and I still haven't seen a true puzzle game. Like Match 3 or like a Sakoban, like a puzzle game, all right? Or a puzzle platformer for that matter. I don't even think I've seen a 3D platformer. Let me just search real quick. Just search. Nope. So that's what we're going to talk about, folks, is that's the exciting conclusion to see if you're going to come back. Will there be a platformer in the first quarter of Top 1000 reviewed games? Stay tuned and turn off YouTube. I'll see you again after this is over.